We have become dependent on a corrupted, unsecure network, the so-called World Wide Web. This is not the intergalactic computer network we were promised. The web makes us vulnerable to hacking, tracking, any form of digital attack. It's easily gamed, misused, and even abused. Censorship, cancel culture, and deplatforming are symptoms of a larger problem. We're stuck in technological cul-de-sacs controlled by big tech, whose interests take precedence over ours. Their technology is built around conditioning and addiction, control and domination. However, it doesn't have to be this way. Our solution is the Quantum User Experience. QUX, or QUX, is your portal to a new digital universe. When you join QUX, you have unlimited access to whatever content you want. You can live stream, upload your own videos, audio, music, images, post and listen to podcasts. QUX even allows you to use Android apps and games. You deserve the online experience you want to have. Create collections or share new content with your family, community, or the world. You can pull content from other websites and platforms to QUX easily, or you can upload directly to QUX. QUX isn't a publisher, it's an interface where anyone can publish and everyone can control their own digital experience. You can monetize your viral creations. QUX pays content creators double what other platforms offer, with affiliate codes and other forms of monetization. Or just lean back and enjoy QUX.
Welcome to the next battlefront, the tech war. I'm Millie Weaver, and I am now back in action. Many of you guys have been wondering where I have been. Well, I have been gone because I have been working on a very important project. In fact, this project is something that I've been working on for a couple years now, since 2018, when Alex Jones was first banned from social media platforms and even the Apple Store. I began to realize right then and there that there was a serious problem, and that the other team, the enemy, the swamp, the deep state, that they had a monopoly on technology and the way information is disseminated. So what did we do? We got together with a team of people, and we figured out how to circumvent the censorship and how to be one step ahead of the curve, so that then when they try to push the next shoe to drop, which is going to be their complete banning and kicking people off of their actual electronics, we will be fully ready for that battlefront. So I'm pleased to announce QUX, the new TV box electronic device with its own unique operating system that we developed out. And I have Gavin Wintz, who is my significant other, but he's also one of the main owners of QUX and founders of QUX. He has really done a lot of work. He's here with me in studio, sitting next to me in a chair. He's off camera today because he's kind of wanting to lay low and not have his hair on camera. But he's going to be helping discuss QUX with me and go over some of the tech specs and what all QUX is about. Because I know many people have been having a lot of questions. There's a lot of talk going around on social media. There's even some rumors going around. So we want to clear some of that up for you guys to kind of to dispel the fact from the myth and kind of let you guys know exactly what to expect with QUX. Now, we have launched a fundraiser page on Indiegogo, and actually it's amazing how well this fundraiser has been doing, which is really exciting. There's a lot of people who've been hearing about QUX and knowing about QUX for a while now, and they've been following it closely. And the minute we actually put this Indiegogo page up, people just flocked on there. So I want to show you on Indiegogo right now, which is kind of like a fundraiser site or Kickstarter. QUX is actually one of the trending campaigns right now, and that's super exciting. So we're actually on the front page of Indiegogo.com, and I'm going to go ahead and click on this to show you guys the campaign here. So we put an initial goal of 100,000, and that goal has already been surpassed within the first 3 days of this campaign being live. And it hasn't even been 3 full days yet, but we're going on that. So this is the fundraiser for the test pilot program for QUX, where people are actually going to get to participate in that test pilot program. In order to participate, people are signing up, and they are making a $99 contribution. And there were actually 1,000 spots here that we put for people to participate in the test pilot program, where you actually get a device and you get to participate in the Zoom calls with us and in the development of QUX, and your input gets to be heard, and we get to kind of work with you directly. You get to be some of the first people to build portals out, which are basically like channels, right? So there's only 118 spots left. So if that's something you guys are interested in doing, I suggest you hurry up and get over there, because I haven't really been promoted this on YouTube yet. And so I'm sure those are probably going to fill up pretty quickly. So get there while you can. I also wanted to show you guys that if you wanted to actually make a bigger contribution to QUX, you could do so. You can actually get your name in the credits of the device. So when people open up settings and they go to credits, it's going to actually have a list of the names of people who donated and made this possible. And if you don't want to put your name, you can actually put the name of any one of your loved ones. So you could put your mom's name, your grandma's name, your grandpa's name. It doesn't have to be your name, but if you wanted to, that's something that's available. And at the end of the day, it really helps our battle against big tech. It helps support QUX so that we can get tech out there that is being made by patriots, Americans that love free speech, that respect the First Amendment and the Constitution. So, okay, now that I got that over with, I wanted to talk a little bit about QUX. What is QUX? This is what QUX looks like, this device right here. It is like a super mini computer that you plug into your television with an HDMI port, but it is really so much more than that. If you look at many of the Apple devices and other devices out there, you'll notice that they've actually been phasing out these inputs on the side of their devices. If you go try to get any new Apple laptops and things, you'll notice that. This is what gives people a lot of functionality, the ability to do all kinds of things. It has an SD port, a mini SD port, where people can actually have storage for partitioned storage, and that's gonna really be something that's helpful for you if you actually like to download videos or movies or content from or share things privately with each other, instead of necessarily putting it on a cloud. So you get to pick and choose your memory storage. You know how some other like phones will have a certain amount of like gigabytes per se. Like you buy an iPhone and it's got 32 gigabytes, and you're kind of stuck within the realm of those gigabytes. Well, you can actually just have infinite mini SDs and keep cycling them in and out and have as much storage really and truly as you want on there. So that's what's pretty cool about that. And I mean, it's got a sleek design. Look at that. there's going to be different
So people
colors.
are saying, so it's just a storage device?
No, it is not. Okay, so Gavin's over here looking at comments. It is not just a storage device. It is so much more. Okay, so this device is capable of gaming. So if you're somebody that likes to play Fortnite, per se, you can game on this. There's actually a little USB port where you can plug in a remote controller, like a gaming controller. You could plug in a wireless mouse, a wireless keyboard. So that's kind of what you could do with it as well.
But those are basic features.
Basic features. Okay, so
go to the website. Pull up the website. That's probably the best thing.
Okay, so I'm getting there. I know you guys are so ants in the pants and you really want to know everything about QUX, and I'm giving it to you, but you're going to have to be patient because I'm going to be giving it out to you in a very methodical way. Okay, so QUX is essentially something where, okay, you know how Apple devices and Google Play or Roku, you have to have an actual app in respect to be on there. So people who say want to be on Roku, do you know how much money they spend trying to build out an app to be on Roku so that they can be on your television per se? They spend a lot of money, and it's not really easy. Okay, it can be done. Obviously, people do it. It's not easy, and it's not accessible to everyday patriots and people like you that want to be able to have a voice and spread the truth out there. It's going to be only available mostly to people with money and people with the ability to have applications made. So what QUX does is it makes it so you can actually create your own portal, which is like pretty much almost like an app and a channel into a hybrid. You can create your own portal, and you do so by going on your computer to our portal generator webpage, where you essentially just plug in your information. You plug in you pick your thumbnails, obviously, your titles of your name, you pick what category and rating you want to have for your channel, like whether it's news or what age category. And then you could actually plug in some of your social media. Like, for example, my YouTube channel that some of you guys are watching me on right now, I could actually plug in my YouTube channel's URL link into the portal generator. It'll actually pull the feed of all my YouTube content into the video section on my portal page. So I can pull in content from other social media sites into that one portal, or I can directly upload videos onto QUX just through their video uploader. I can also live stream on QUX, which is fun, and people can chat and comment live.
It cannot play Fortnite.
It can. You can play Fortnite on QUX. So I'm not really sure why they would say that. With Fortnite, you have to be able to do 64-bit gaming, and this is going to be able to do that. It's got 4-core processor, 64 bits. It is 100% capable of gaming. It's got a lot of encryption and security as well, VPNs.
What kind of encryption does it have?
Why don't you tell me?
It has 256 AES encryption end-to-end. So anyone worried about the privacy of their security or any of that on our private network, it has the highest encryption that's accessible.
Right. Like, basically, what's funny is Gavin was telling me about how, other, like, military tech intelligence people that he's talked to about QUX, they kind of laugh and they're like, haha, like, why do you need all of this security and protection for a TV box? Like, that's some of their reactions, because our level of security and encryption is so over the top that it's almost something that is military grade, right? It would compete with Cisco. So it's interesting that some people are a little bit, wanting to know and weary about safety concerns when this device is so over the top secure. There's nothing out there on the market like it right now. When you look at like these other phones, smartphones, Rokus, these other devices out there, none of them have this level of security by any means.
Apple does. And a few years ago, Apple got into an issue with the NSA because they wanted to access some of their data regarding a shooting that took place, and they didn't bend a knee to it. So what Apple demonstrated, whether you like Apple or not, is that if someone takes the time to actually make hardware and software, you can basically make it so that they can't spy on you. Something that's a little frustrating is that people have been assuming that QUX is going to be collecting data because of their false understanding of how other operating systems may work. For instance, we're not using the Google version of Android. So if you're using QUX as it is, Google can't monitor you, they can't spy on you, they can't collect and aggregate your online activities. However, if you choose to sideload Google into QUX, when you're using Google on QUX, they can monitor you.
But only what you use on their app.
Exactly. Someone asked, if I put Facebook in QUX, can they monitor me on Facebook? Yeah, because what it is you're in their network. Okay? So the whole point of QUX having its own private encrypted network is that nothing can be data mined out of it.
But they can't access QUX's internal network.
Correct.
Like Facebook and them, they can't look at anything else you're doing in your device, only what you do on their app. Exactly. But that would be with anything. If you're on their app, inside their website, you go to facebook.com, whatever, and you go on there, they're going to see what you're doing on their platform. But on QUX, all of that is protected and secure. And we actually have 2 VPNs. Gavin, you go ahead and tell them about this.
There's a VPN in the hardware and there's a VPN in the software. The over redundancy for security and protection of privacy is ridiculous for a lot of the functions. A lot of people will be like, well, why do you have all this security in this device? And it's because it's more than just something to watch videos. So why don't you explain some of the other features it has, Millie?
Okay, so some of the other features, we're talking about portals, all right? And what you can and can't do on portals. Now, portals, it's not just video content. There are basically, there's like a side tab on there where you have images that you can post pictures or pull pictures from other platforms. You can put podcasts. So if you're somebody that likes to podcasts or do video podcasting, it can have all the podcasts in there. It can pull it from the other sites. So it doesn't actually, when it pulls it in, it's floating in like a virtual way to where you can technically do a lot and it doesn't actually chew up a lot of bandwidth. And so you can actually like have all these different social media platforms out there where maybe some of your fans and audience are on one or some of them are on another. You can actually kind of pull all that stuff into that one portal where people can view it all, but you can still simultaneously be on there if you want. And what's interesting is if any of them ban you, well, okay, oh well, because you can just directly upload to QUX if you would like to. Now, the thing with QUX is we believe in free speech to the fullest degree. We are extremely anti-censorship. We are not going to be banning anyone, literally, unless we have like the government banging down the door with warrants to pull people's channels, and or people are doing illegal activity like, say, kiddie porn or snuff films. Obviously, they have to get banned because they are violating the law. But anything else, it's fair game. Now, how do we differentiate between certain types of content? Well, we do that with a rating system. Because let's say children, this is going to be a device that children can use, and it's actually safer for children than many of the other devices out there. So if I wanted to, I can create a profile for my kids, And on that profile, I can set it so that they're only able to access maybe G-rated content or PG through G or PG-13 and down or whatever. So the content, the portals are rated. They choose the rating, and if it's a kid rating, obviously they get approved, because we want to make sure that there aren't predators or people out there trying to target kids with bad programming. Like for example, on YouTube, my kids will be, I had to actually delete YouTube off of our smart TV because my son, who's 6, knows how to use the remote and get on YouTube, and they would start out with some seemingly innocent video on YouTube, and next thing you know, they're watching something that looks like it's geared toward children. It's cartoonish, but it's actually entirely like inappropriate for children, and maybe even is somewhat sexualized or has bad language. So kids kind of go down these rabbit holes, and next thing you know, they're in inappropriate content on YouTube that looks like it's being marketed toward kids. Or YouTube actually puts advertisements on their kids' content that are adult advertisements, that are advertisements that kids shouldn't even be seeing. For example, one time, my son was watching a video on YouTube, and next thing you know, some ad with some weird LGBTQ group starts playing with a guy in high heels and a beard talking about his sexuality. That's not something my child should be seeing, right? So the way we kind of help mitigate that, because this is all about people choosing their own experience. The controls are all there in your hands, and you choose what to do with it and how you want to see things. You can pretty much choose what you want to see and what you don't want to see. It's all up to you. We don't necessarily ban or curate. We just, if anything, categorize so that parents can feel safe with the G category. So one of the other things that QUX is going to be doing, which is super fun, they're going to be able to do a lot of live chat functions with people where people can engage.
In fact, all these trolls that are talking a lot of shit will actually enjoy the peanut gallery.
Yeah, you'll actually enjoy the peanut function gallery. So say I was live streaming right now
and you
on
just wanted
QUX,
to talk mad shit.
And you guys just want to talk mad shit. You want to troll me, which is fine. You can do so in the chat section on your remote, and you can actually put little 5-second audio blurbs in there as well. So if you want to say something audibly, you can do that. And if
you can say something
audibly. If you can, right? You can do that. Or if somebody's watching me and they don't want to see the peanut gallery, they can hide that, and they don't have to see that or hear that. So there's just a lot of really fun things that we have planned in store for QUX. Another thing would be I'm trying to think off the top of my head, the apps. So you can sideload any apps you want onto QUX.
But beware, because we can't control whether or not those apps are going to spy on you. If you're using QUX and everything that we've developed, there's no data. The data logs get purged, so there's no data to collect to even sell if anyone wants to go down that road.
Right.
But whether other apps that use other servers and other networks we can't control that. We're giving you the freedom to be able to pick and choose.
Right.
Some choices.
Some people might have a QUX box and choose to never sideload any other apps onto their device. They might be like, I don't even want to have any apps. But if somebody wants to have, I don't know, Netflix or any of that other stuff on there, they can. If somebody wants to even have Kodi or some of those other like bootlegging apps, they can. Like, they could have whatever apps they want on there, game apps, and they can play those as games. So it's really something that's up to the user to decide.
So someone says it's just like an app store on an Android TV. No, it's actually more than just an app store.
See, the difference with, like, say, an Android TV or like even Google Play or Apple and all that is like somebody like me, for example, you're never going to see me on there. You're never going to see Alex Jones. You're never going to see anyone you want to see on there.
You're not going to be able to troll on there.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to see them on there because they aren't going to be allowed to be on there. Somebody like you know, out there that might decide that suddenly you want to have your own channel or app or portal, right? You won't really be able to do that unless you have a lot of money and wherewithal to do that. So this is actually opening up. This is a tool that we are actually giving to you out there so that you can actually have an app, right? You can have your own portal is what we call it. You can put video content out there. You can be on someone else's TV. You can live stream on TV. And what's kind of cool is the portals.
Communications.
You can push an audio button, and the portal will come up. Like, say somebody pushes the audio button and says Millennial Millie, right? It's gonna pull up my portal.
Open source, closed network, voice control.
Right.
Okay.
It's going to pull up my portal.
Encrypted.
Say you don't want to look it up that way and you just want to push a number and say my channel happens to be channel 20, right? They can just hit 20 on their remote and boom, right? Or you can actually surf through the portals chronologically with different channel numbers. So those of you guys who want to get in on a good channel number, get in the beginning, because I'm sure that number is going to really increase. But, you know, this is something where we're giving you the ability to be your own entertainment, your own news, your own television. No censorship, absolute free speech. Your data, your privacy, everything is protected by VPN. 2 VPNs, actually. One on the device, one on the software, multiple servers. So it's like a crazy nut and shell game. Extremely secure encryption technology.
Why? Because there's a store.
Right. We have extremely secure encryption technology, not only to protect you and your privacy, but also to protect the merchants on there. So let's talk about the functionality between the store, right? There are users who are just people who necessarily want to sit back and watch content, and they don't really even want to maybe produce content. They just want to have a box and they want to watch the people they like to watch. So those are users. There are creators, somebody maybe like myself, right? Where I would have a portal and I would be putting up content, and maybe like how I sell shirts and hats and fun things on my website, I could be also a creator and a hybrid with a merchant account. So I can sell my products directly to people on QUX. So when they're actually watching something, right, or one of my videos, they can actually click on the buy button and actually purchase my shirt or hat, right? So, but that's across the board, right? So that's going to actually allow a lot of other people out there, small mom and pop businesses, to be able to compete with Amazon and all these other companies out there. For example, what we kind of have in mind are even like small local mechanic shops being able to run ads on a portal page for a little league team that's, you know, like things like that. We're trying to really put this tool out there for the everyday mom and pops, the American people that are kind of being left behind in this whole big tech
Okay, and I want to say something. I want to address some of the trolls that are talking a lot of serious shit. And this is what I want to say. You know, it's real fun and easy to hide behind anonymous images and throw mud at what Millie's talking about. But the reality here is that until you've actually personally experienced how you, at the flick of a switch of a button, can be removed from not just social media, but from payment processors, from the ability to do banking. Here's one for you that they haven't talked about yet, but we've spoken to with engineers in big tech. You want to know what's next? little Mr. Trolls who think all this censorship's funny, they're preparing to be able to remove people from devices permanently, so that all of a sudden you can't get a Google Android phone. You can't get an Apple phone. You've been banned from the device.
Or you've been banned from having like an Apple ID.
Or you've
it was in the terms and conditions. You see? This is how these other big tech companies operate. And if somebody were to tell you back in 2013 or 14 that in the future many of these big social media companies would start to just ban people and even ban the president of the United States, you might not believe that. But I'm telling you right now, in 2018, when Alex Jones was first banned, I saw the writing on the wall, and I knew that the bans were coming and that the banning even of President Trump was right around the corner. And that is why we started this project back in 2018. We first saw that. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to make it so that we can fight the tech war. We need to be able to hit them back. And we can't do so when we are solely relying on all of their electronics, their hardware, their software, their devices, where their devices have backdoors. They spy on us. They don't protect our privacy. They exploit people. And at the end of the day, they censor and pick and choose what content people see. We don't do that curation. We let you, the viewer, the user, pick and choose what you want to watch. We let you use this as a tool. And that is the whole motive behind doing QUX, was really and truly to fight the tech war. Because if we don't hit them in the tech department, we will lose in the information department.
So someone's saying we all know they are able to get past VPNs. Here's the problem. Most people are evaluating their impression of QUX based off of preconceived notions of how tech works. For instance, people will ask, is QUX an app? Is QUX a website? Is QUX a platform? It's none of those things, but has aspects of all of them. Like, for instance, people are saying, oh, well, they can get into your device. No, they can't. The only way you can get into our network is through a login and password and physically having in your possession a QUX device. Like, I'm just kind of shocked at how weak some of these troll attacks are, and I know where they're coming from, and it's just a little frustrating because I really don't like seeing the time and effort that our programmers put into this thing being just dismissed by a bunch of assholes. Sorry.
Well, here's the thing. I wouldn't let the trolls get to you, Gavin. Many of them are tech illiterate and they don't really know what they're talking about. But it's important to address those concerns. And that is why in the future we will actually be having one of our programmers come on here and he can talk tech all day.
I think we need to address what's really making me mad. And that is, we need to talk about because we keep getting, why aren't you guys incorporating the quantum technology that was said that was going to be in QUX? I think we need to address that issue.
Okay. So go ahead.
All right. So I was going on stereo and talking with Tori about some of the future potential, some of the ideas that are going to be going in the QUX. And all of a sudden, while we're trying to do our test pilot program, we're getting disinformation and misinformation being spread that, one, a lot of these ideas that were going in the QUX were Tories, and or two, that this technology is not going in the QUX. And the problem with that is it's a very deceptive piece of disinformation. One, QUX is supposed to come out and roll out in phases, and some of what Tori was talking about and what I was talking about with her on stereo are the latter phases, stuff that's like 12 months down the road, 18 months down the road. So to compare what we're developing for a 12, 18-month program to compare that tech to what we're starting out with a test pilot program to go through each feature one at a time to make sure everything's working properly is not only disinformation, it's extremely disingenuous, and it's extremely frustrating because we're sitting here kind of locked under non-disclosure agreements because this is a business, okay? And when we do bring in the pilot program, those people will be read onto what QUX is actually going to be able to do. And it's just frustrating seeing those people, before they've even had a chance to see what it is, being fed a bunch of bullshit.
Right. Assumptions.
Seriously.
Well.
And so, sorry if I'm a little angry about it, but it's kind of frustrating.
Right. Well, like I said, when you sign up and become part of the test pilot program, you're going to have the first look and the first access into QUX, and you're going to get to see everything that QUX is capable about, and you're going to get to learn more about QUX, and you're going to get to be part of the development, and your say, your input is going to matter. It's going to help us design this out. So you're actually helping shape out and design a device that is really going to be effective in the tech war and help the American people make sure that we can get the opportunity to maintain free speech, because free speech is extremely important. We saw how much the censorship affected the election in 2020. We saw how they were able to put out these disinformation campaigns, how effective they were able to do their IA operations. And that's the thing. The agencies, the CIA, the military-industrial complex, they do not like QUX. So the disinformation campaigns are already being put out there. They're trying to stomp out QUX because why? They're angry because QUX makes it so that they can't run their IIA operations. They can't do their psyops on the American people. In fact, if anyone were to try, we would be able to know and pinpoint them directly. So they're mad because there are no backdoors into QUX. There's no ability for them to try to data mine and scrape our information and put it into their algorithms and use that information to target American citizens with psyops. QUX defeats their IIA schemes. And so, of course, the disinformation is already being put out there and they are trying to attack it. But you know why? It's because this is a project that the American people have the opportunity to get behind and to push and promote and to compete with the big tech oligarchs and the billionaires out there that want to keep us all in a box, right? They want to keep us in their box, okay? So we've decided we're going to create our own, okay? And we, the American people, are going to have say in that. And we're going to be able to have rights and have free speech. And if we're going to be able to talk about vaccines and talk about election fraud, talk about whatever the heck we want to talk about on that platform. And at the end of the day, that is what is most important, that we maintain our ability to communicate, because they have broken us off. They've segmented us off into all these other different social media sites and platforms. Let me tell you something. All those other social media sites, as well-meaning as they have been, these conservative social media sites, because they're just on a regular web browser website, all those can be hacked into. They can be accessed, okay? Because we are on our own electronic device, we are extremely secure. They cannot penetrate that. So, of course, they're going to attack it. If this is such high-level encryption and security that we actually had some military contractor type people being like, that would compete with Cisco, that would actually really piss off the war generals that do IAA. That's going to piss them off. Well, good. That is our goal. We want to piss them off. We want the American people to stop being targeted with psyops. Thus, QUX. And so QUX, as it is in phase 1, you're going to have to think of it this way. Okay, when Apple or any of these other technology companies, when they first started out, do you remember when they just started out with like an iPod, right? And how cool that was. And everyone's like, oh, wow, I can have an iPod, right? And look where they are now, right? With their phones and how much more advanced their technology has gone. We need to just get this going, get it off the ground, and know that where we are going, where we are planning to take QUX, obviously is going to be next level. It's going to be quantum. But in order to get there, we need to get it off the ground and we need to get it going. And we need you, the American people, to get behind that. We need people like you because we don't want to have to go to any big investors or any of these other people that would try to push for compromisations, because our ultimate goal is we're either doing this the right way and we're not compromising, or we're not doing it at all. That is why we made the decision to put up the Indiegogo and to give this opportunity to really everyone out there, to the American people, the people who care about freedom, the people who care about election integrity and care about people being abused with vaccines and abused with misinformation and fake news out there. Those of you guys who actually care about those things, I'm calling on you. Please, we need your support. We need you to get behind this campaign. And I really want some of my strong supporters out there who would be honest and genuine at heart to please sign up for QUX's Indiegogo account. We literally have only a couple spots left. There were 1,000 total, and now we are at 108 left. So we only need a couple more, and then 108, and then we are actually going to be closed off on allowing people into the test pilot program. But you can also just support it by clicking back it and put in any small dollar amount or contribution you would like to. So I'm going to play, for those of you guys who are coming on to this broadcast a little bit late, I'm going to be playing the QUX video introduction for you guys again. So here you go.
Corrupted, unsecure network, the so-called World Wide Web. This is not the intergalactic computer network we were promised. The web makes us vulnerable to hacking, tracking, any form of digital attack. It's easily gamed, misused, and even abused. Censorship, cancel culture, and deplatforming are symptoms of a larger problem. We're stuck in technological cul-de-sacs controlled by big tech, whose interests take precedence over ours. Their technology is built around conditioning and addiction, control and domination. However, it doesn't have to be this way. Our solution is the Quantum User Experience. QUX, or QUIX, is your portal to a new digital universe. When you join QUIX, you have unlimited access to whatever content you want. You can live stream, upload your own videos, audio, music, images, post and listen to podcasts. QUIX even allows you to use Android apps and games. You deserve the online experience you want to have. Create collections or share new content with your family, community, or the world. You can pull content from other websites and platforms to QUIX easily, or you can upload directly to QUIX. QUIX isn't a publisher, it's an interface where anyone can publish and everyone can control their own digital experience. You can monetize your viral creations. QUIX pays content creators double what other platforms offer, with affiliate codes and other forms of monetization. Or just lean back and enjoy QUIX.
All right, so there you have it. Is that not the coolest commercial or introduction to QUX? It's super cool. I love it, and I'm really happy to see that we have done so well on the Indiegogo, and really this is just kind of a thank you to everyone out there who has supported our Indiegogo fundraising campaign. I'm happy to see so many people are interested in QUX and they're signing up. They're wanting to be part of the test pilot program. Let's go over some of the details in the test pilot program and what you can expect. So the first early access to QUX, we only have 1,000 spots available. There are 105 left currently. So by participating in this test program, you have a voice in the development of customer service, commonly asked questions, input on the user interface, and other features of QUX. Help determine the future of digital freedom and new secure intergalactic virtual network. Limited space is available, so register today. When you join QUX, you have unlimited access to whatever content you want. You can live stream, upload videos, audio, music, images, post and listen to podcasts. QUX even allows you to use Android apps and games. So you can play Fortnite and other cool games on there. A small registration contribution and non-disclosure agreement can help ensure the right people get involved first. We need 1,000 first look trailblazers just like you to help get this program started. All first look trailblazers get a prototype experimental QUX device exclusive to the test program, a first edition universal media box, finished product prior to the official launch, which has a suggested retail value of over $199. Early access to the QUX network, trend first, open one of the first stores, first in line for channel numbers, and more. First look participants get their portal linked name in the credits under settings for helping QUX happen. For helping make QUX happen. Test program. You get to test the QUX user interface, QUX hardware, software, and QUX portal generator. So phase 1 is the user creator interface. Phase 2 is the user creator marketing interface. And then phase 3 is the user creator marketing shop interface.
Could you explain
the
that?
test program starts mid-September, and QUX will have an early release in November 2021. So delivery registration is on the first come, first serve basis. Please allow 60 days for commencement of the test program and allow 6 to 8 weeks for prototype delivery. All devices will be delivered at least 72 hours prior to test program beginning. So it says here are some other ways you can help. If you have a social media presence, or are you interested in a free or secure internet, get involved with QUX. Get your audience involved in the test program. Be one of the first on QUX. Use the Indiegogo share tools. Okay, so that's kind of a little bit of a overview of QUX. And so Gavin, I guess, do you think there's anything else that we need to talk about with QUX? Any of the tech specs or any questions you think you could answer for some people out there about QUX?
I think the problem is that because it's so foreign to what most people are used to experiencing, that without a visual it's kind of difficult. But the problem is we weren't going to show any visuals just yet tonight, so I guess what we need to do is just a couple of Q&A, prepare a Q&A where people can ask questions. A lot of questions people were asking when we brought them up with our tech people. They said that some of the questions were either nonsense, it was someone trying to pretend they understood tech to be dissuasive. The other thing is that people seem to be trying to nudge us towards building QUX with what you could consider to be hacking tools, so the QUX would be sort of like a little hacker box, and that's not our intention either. Like for instance, one of
we would listen. Okay, we are uncompromising. We are making sure that QUX is entirely secure, that is highly encrypted. It uses end-to-end high-bit TLS 1.2 end-to-end encryption. Okay, it is very secure. You're not going to find any other device really that secure. You said Apple. Okay, Apple has some security, but they still have back doors and let people spy into their device. They let them, not that they couldn't, right? Not that somebody could try to hack them. They let people spy, and the NSA spy.
They choose who's on their platform,
right?
Where we don't pick and choose who's on the platform. All we've done is just, well, it's not all we've done. That's downplaying it. But what we have done is we've made basically a mechanism, a tool, a device that, if let's say we had 1 million users on QUX, right?
Right.
You could have so many different forms of businesses that people technically could do buying and selling using our virtual tokens, which we call QUX Cash. We're not doing an encrypted coin. We're doing something that we think is actually better, and that is having a wallet inside a secure encrypted private network where people can do business with each other, where there's no data logs kept on those transactions, so that they can engage in business privately however they wish to choose.
Right, in a private digital economy.
Exactly.
A private, secure digital economy.
So that's something that people need to consider. It's not just something you watch TV on. It's something that you can engage in e-commerce communications. There's the ability to have encrypted communications on QUX for those that are concerned about other tech companies spying on their conversations. Some people think it's not necessary. Look, we're just giving you a what we call literally a universal, it's technically a universal meta media box, but that's kind of wordy. It's a universal media box. It's basically, it's like a Swiss Army knife of tech. You can do anything you want with it.
Right, and we really kind of keep a lot of things, a lot of different components accessible for people so that they can be very versatile in their use of QUX.
Exactly, like anyone can advertise, anyone can have a store, anyone can post publishable footage, or anyone could just sit back and watch it. And one unique thing about the way the ads work is that inside the user dashboard, they actually pick and choose what kind of ads they want to watch.
Right.
That's
the key here. Okay, so when you think about advertisement, because the way these other companies do advertisement, what they do is they mine and spy on everyone's data, and then they use that, like your searches on the internet web browsers and Google, they use that data, and then they try to target you with advertisements and marketing campaigns based on what you actually just look up or watch. Facebook's so invasive with it, and some of these other companies where you actually like say things and they audibly listen and record you, and then next thing you know, you're talking about chocolate and there's chocolate ads on your Facebook. I mean, that's creepy, and we've all experienced that, and we don't want that. That's extremely invasive. It's violating our privacy, but see, they can try to get away with it.
But it's more than that, because that data has two functions.
Right.
It has the commercial application.
But then it has the militarized application where they want to do psyops on people.
Predictive modeling,
right.
And all that
and use
stuff.
that to
Exactly.
sway the public opinion and cause riots and cause craziness and cause communism to take foothold in America, which you'd never thought that would be possible, right? But with social media, they sure have been making it possible. So what we've done with QUX is we've actually, it really wasn't taking a rocket genius to redesigned a better approach to marketing and advertising that was fair and didn't violate people's rights. It was pretty freaking simple.
Because you give everyone
right.
the controls.
So what it is when you are a user and you first are setting up your device, it prompts the page that opens up that's you pick your own ad experience. So I was thinking about it and really marinating on the whole advertisement thing, and when I was thinking about it, I'm like, well, I actually is it that I hate ads, or is it that I actually hate being forced to watch ads that I don't really like and that I don't want to buy stuff on? Like, for example, if I were to be watching like a Trump promotional ad, or watching maybe even a My Pillow ad, or watching like a new movie, or watching something I'm interested in. Could be, for me, might be beauty, cosmetics, might be different things. Something I'm interested in.
Health food sometimes.
Health food, supplements, right? If it's something I'm interested in, I actually like watching ads. I actually find myself looking up products online, and then like I'm watching their product ad or review to find out more about it. So it's not that I don't like ads, it's that I don't like ads for things that I don't want to see. So, for example, if you were to be setting up and picking your own ad experience, you just go through and check the boxes on stuff and categories and things that you would want to see. So say you're somebody who's into guns, firearms, you could click guns, firearms, outdoor sporting goods, sports. You know, you can pick and choose what you have. And then say there's like an ad that somehow appears out of nowhere and it's something you don't like or don't ever want to see again, you can click that on QUX's interface and be like, I don't want to see this ad again, or hide
so
this.
Instead of skipping the ad, it's I don't want to see this.
Yeah, I don't want to see this. And therefore, you are picking your own experience. You're actually going to be watching stuff that you have interest in. Here's the other thing that's cool.
And how much ads are they going to see? Let them tell them.
It's literally like, it's extremely minimum.
We're
Isn't
talking
like
30 seconds an hour at most.
Yeah, 30 seconds an hour at most. All these other platforms are just ramming these horrible ads down people's throats.
5 to 12 minutes an hour.
They do 5 to 12 minutes of advertisement an hour, which is extremely annoying. QUX does way less that.
30 seconds. I think we can manage. And here's why. Explain.
The reason why is because of this. When thinking out the whole model and the whole blueprint for QUX, obviously bandwidth costs money. Anything like this costs money to do. So you have to think about, okay, well, that costs money. How's QUX going to be able to actually pay for itself? But then you have to think about, well, what about creators? Because creators are going to want to be on there, and they're going to want to put content, and they need a way to make a living. They need a way to incentivize and be able to monetize their content. So the other option was doing the subscription-based model, where creators can actually do a subscription. However, here's the problem with that. That's not very good for a user, because a user doesn't want to have a bajillion subscriptions to a bajillion different channels. That's like, at that point, that's lame. And I know a lot of people that have actually bought in like Roku's and other things, when they sign up and they find out, oh my gosh, I have to pay a subscription. That's really lame. And I have to pay all these subscriptions for all these different apps on here.
If you don't pay the subscription, then it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, and if you don't pay the subscription, it doesn't work anymore. That's like, what? That's your electronic device. You should be able to use that no matter what. So we didn't like the subscription-based model. The way we keep QUX free for everyone, really and truly, is the advertisement model. But you pick and choose your own ad experience, and you watch stuff that you want to watch.
It's not very many ads.
It's not very many ads. It's actually extremely minimum. What these other companies are doing is they're high volume shooting a bunch of big corporations ads at you that you don't even like, and because they're trying to force you to buy those products. They want to force you to like Nike. They want to force you to like Coca-Cola or whatever. They want to force and ram down those big corporations into consumers, whereas we want to try to help actually more small mom and pop businesses and more like startups and small, the little guys, you know?
Look at it this way. Think of if you're seeing a bunch of local advertisements.
Right.
It's like kind of 30 seconds of TikTok, okay?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Right.
There may be some unintended humor in watching some local ads. Just saying.
Right. And so then this is also one of the cool functions and features. I've actually, as a creator myself, I've seen Planned Parenthood having an ad on one of my videos before. And in fact, it was the video I did where I had the ultrasound, and I was really kind of showing how the late-term abortion is unethical and inhumane, and Planned Parenthood ran an ad on my YouTube video, and I was like, really, what the heck? This is messed up. Like, I was actually pretty pissed off that Planned Parenthood ran an ad, and I didn't get to have a say in it. That was back when I was monetized. I didn't get to have a say in it. YouTube could just do that, and then, oh, here, we'll kick you some peanuts, because they barely pay their creators over there. And so one of the cool things also with QUX is, as a creator, I can actually pick and choose what advertisers I want to allow to advertise on my platform. So I don't have to allow Planned Parenthood ads or any of this other stuff I don't like to advertise on my platform. So it kind of solves some of the problems where before there was this big issue. Like, the model that YouTube has is they have a bunch of really big advertisers and they force all that onto people, onto their viewers, and they monetize and incentivize their creators. And the creators are either monetized or they're not monetized. It's very black and white. And what sucks about that is those big advertisers can then push and pressure YouTube and say, oh, well, if you don't ban someone like Alex Jones, we're not going to advertise. Well, here's our solution to that. And remember, we're not going to have that problem because we're focusing more on small businesses, mom and pops. What we're actually doing here as well is we're going to allow the advertisers to pick and choose who they don't want to advertise on. That way, okay, so say, I don't know, say Planned Parenthood doesn't want to advertise on my channel. Well, so be it, right? They don't have to advertise on my channel. This is a consent-based model. This is a people getting to choose. This is the free market, right? So if they don't want to advertise on my channel or portal, that's fine. They have that choice. But at the same time, then there's no justification to be like, oh, we want to lobby to get her kicked off or demonetized because we don't want our ads on there. No, you don't need to. You can just click that you don't want your ads on her portal. End of discussion. So it's going to actually allow a very interesting dynamic to occur. It's also going to allow creators to kind of give creators and advertisers to kind of work together and foment and build more closer relationships and send each other campaigns. So it's going to be fun. And like I said, that is the free market approach. There's nothing wrong with advertisers. Since when was capitalism a bad thing? Since when? I mean,
there's only 92 left.
Right? Like, when was capitalism a bad thing? We live in America. We love capitalism. We love the free market. And we sure as hell love mom and pops and small businesses. That is how we keep our economy strong and booming. There's nothing wrong with capitalism. Anyone who pushes that is completely just insane. And any idea that we're invading privacy or data mining is completely untrue, because we're doing this in a way that has really never been done before. And really and truly, it should have been done that way. But see, the end goal for these other big tech companies wasn't always just to kind of scrape that data to try to give you an advertisement. No, they wanted to scrape it. Sure, they use it for ads, but they wanted to scrape it as well to all shove it into the NSA, to spy on everyone, to put it into their algorithms for their IIA PSYOP programs. I mean, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. All right. So I hope I've answered a lot of your guys' questions. Gavin, do you have anything else you would like to add?
Just thank you, everybody who are going to participate in this program. Clearly, this isn't just a fundraiser, but in order for us to be able to have 1,000 people literally test our operating system, our hardware, so that our people on the back end can observe this thing. Because here's the thing, people keep asking, what about the quantum network?
Well, all right, so let's talk. You know, I kind of have been thinking about this. Let's talk a little bit about some of the future plans for QUX and what is feasible.
Okay.
Let's talk about a little bit of that.
Right.
See, this was stuff that we didn't necessarily want to let's say we didn't necessarily want to release some of this info or talk about it right up front out of the gate. But
We don't have to get into
since some of the
details,
cat came
right.
out of the bag, we can kind of give you guys a little bit of what our future plans are. This is the only reason why we kind of wanted to keep things a little on the hush and be subtle about this, okay? Because everyone's like, tell us. It's like we want to be subtle about this because last thing we need is a giant. Look, we already are a target, okay? We already are a target for the swamp. But last thing we need is an even bigger target so that they can try to stomp out what we're doing before we get out of the gate. It's like, can we just get out of the gate? And then we can talk about what the future plans are and what's capable. But let's kind of tease a little bit and let's talk a little bit about some of the future plans for QUX, because I think that's what people really want to know.
Okay.
We can talk about the 5G, we can talk about the different network, the capabilities, the partitioned memory.
Basically, in the not too distant future,
What's capable.
what QUX will be capable of is that there will be a version of the box that comes out or a supplemental device that you can use with the existing device that will allow the QUX network to be its own mini server network. Now, obviously, we're going to have some servers that interact with it for redundancy issues. Maybe.
Basically, all these devices.
We don't know.
Once we have all those devices out there in everyone's hands, it's going to kind of operate like a partitioned server network.
A mini server network.
Right.
That's spread out amongst all the different devices, kind of like an onion or a door. So what that does is a lot of different things. There are some significant things, though, that by allowing QUX to be its own mini server network and minimizing some of the redundancy issues, if we can actually get some of this to work, because it's theoretical, because it's never been done, there may be a way to actually not have to work with an external server. Okay? It's possible. That's something we're looking into. As far as quantum computing things go, that's a discussion for way down the road. Because go to my YouTube channel and look at the depth and breadth of the level of understanding I have
Of physics, right.
of physics, quantum mechanics, and what it would take to use quantum computers from not a theoretical perspective, from a manufacturing perspective.
Right.
The thing people need to understand is my approach to QUX is from a manufacturer angle, because before I was a cameraman and an editor, I was a manufacturer. I've owned 3 factories. I used to make skateboards and snowboards and machinery.
Right.
Okay, so my old business partners that we used to make custom electronics for our custom machinery, he has since, over the past 25 years, gotten to his point to where he's actually built out chip factories overseas. So he was one of the people we got a hold of to help.
Super patriot. Yeah. Loves America, loves Trump, like super patriot.
And that's basically, I reached out to all my super patriot friends who were all aware of the problem and said, what do we need to do? Because we didn't want an immediate solution to the problem. We wanted a 10-year solution to the problem.
Right.
So that we could buy ourselves enough time that if we needed to develop this out further, we would. And so people are like, well, why would you do this? Because if we don't, who is? I don't see anyone else doing it. It's kind of interesting that this Freedom Phone drops out of nowhere the day after we do QUX, which in my mind indicates clearly there's a need for new tech.
Right. Clearly.
So, if and anyone, in my opinion, that's actually trying to make new tech, hats off to anyone doing that, because the best thing any of us can do to Apple, Google, Amazon is give them competition, because the reason why they're abusing their
and in the
power
future,
is
we
because
do
of that.
plan for QUX to have calling capabilities, but we'll get to that another time. We don't want to too much
we're
on
not
that.
going to talk about
Yeah.
our phone
Yeah.
because that. Let's just say this:
Because remember, we have an operating system.
it's a whole different ball
Okay.
field. Yep.
So all these other phones and things, you can put an operating system in.
But you're still using a cellular network.
Right.
So
there's ways to get around that and still have encrypted private calls, but we'll get to that another time.
Yeah, those are the future features. Like we can't overshadow where QUX is now with what we want it to be in the future.
Right.
Because we got to get there.
Right.
The future can't happen if we don't act in the present. It's not going to happen in the future. I can tell you that.
Right. And QUX as it is now is super cool. It really is. Like, I find myself just plugging it into our TV. Even though we have a smart TV, I plug it into the TV and I use it instead of the regular smart TV interface in there because it's nice. I can have whatever, if I want apps and stuff, I have whatever apps I want in there.
How long does it take to make a portal?
Oh my god, it's easy. It's quick. It's very intuitive. The whole like user interface
But how
setup.
long does it take? About what, a minute?
I would say less than 5 minutes. Definitely less than 5 minutes to set up your own portal.
And boom, you're done.
Right.
You have a channel. And what else? Can you make portals with other people's content?
Yeah, you
Why?
actually. Well, because the way QUX is modeled,
We're not a publisher.
with the scraping tool and with the way it can pull stuff from other sites, it's technically not housed on our servers. So you could actually create a portal of other people's content
you
you
could make
like.
a Fox News portal
Right.
if you want.
But however, here's the caveat. If you don't own the content, you cannot collect the monetization on the content. However, if somebody were to say like make a Fox News one and it's literally like Fox News and it's all their content and somebody monetized it and said they were and then they found out, oh, we're not, Fox News could possibly claim that and claim the money in that escrow account because it wouldn't be released until they can prove that they're actually the owner. Like, basically, we don't want people stealing other people's content and monetizing it. But if you wanted to just create a Fox News one and not monetize it, you could do that.
Anything that's publicly accessible can be
pulled
into the QUX system for everyone's
viewing. Right. So that's one of the cool things. And most people, I don't know if most people are going to be actually able to see that and picture that in their minds. But once you actually see it and how it is put into this like uniform look where it's super easy to scroll around in there with the the remote, it's just super easy to use and the function of it is just, I mean, if you were to try to go to each individual person's web page, you're going to have to like, where's the menu bar, or where's this, or where's that, where are their videos at? Whereas it kind of pulls all that in, plugs it into the portal, and then populates it into uniformity.
So you can tell them about the future search function, I think, don't you?
Go ahead.
You can describe it. You're good at it.
The one with the channels?
We're basically the search that'll pull anything off the internet.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's obviously the what we're working toward is being able to scrape and pull virtually anything off the internet.
To pull the whole internet.
Right. Into our intranet.
Exactly.
So, I mean, really what we're trying to do and work on...
And not store it, just, it's kind of a weird... Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. The possibilities are so vast of what we can do here, and it's really exciting. And that's why I want you guys to be a part of it. And I want you guys to have like first dibs and first info out there so that you guys can know, okay, let me get on there and make a portal,
and
be some of the first channels.
What can we change?
Right.
What are some good ideas?
Right. And even if it's something you don't really feel like signing up for the test pilot program and participating in that, you could always just wait for it to come out and launch officially. That's a way you guys can do it.
Pre-release sometime
right
in the fall. So.
Right. We will be doing that. And at the end of the day, you could also just help support the cause, do a small donation. That would be wonderful as well. if you want to help support the fight against big tech and censorship and really the fight to keep free speech alive and well. So, is there anything else, Gavin, you'd like to touch on?
Yeah, about 100. How many people did you say?
It says, okay, there are only 88 spaces left now.
How many were there?
There were like around 200.
Yeah, so about 100 people or so went on here and became...
Over 100 have went on
pilots
here during the live stream and signed up to become test pilots. So everyone that signed up, thank you so much. That's super awesome. I look forward to talking with some of you guys during the test pilot program. That's really exciting.
And if you don't mind, Millie, could you kind of explain a little bit why you're doing, because some people are like, why are you doing like an infomercial about this QUX thing? What happened to journalism? Kind of explain.
Okay.
Like the New York Times thing.
Okay.
The NPR thing.
Right. Okay, so for those of you guys who are wondering why, like, Millie, why are you doing all this with QUX?
Why haven't you been live streaming?
Right. Why are you focusing your attention on this? Well, it's pretty simple. Censorship is ramping up at an alarming rate. You're really... my channel's been completely demonetized on YouTube, and I wouldn't be surprised if pretty soon I lose my live streaming function altogether, or I've already gotten, I had one warning and I have one strike on my YouTube channel, and if you get 3, you're banned. So, because of the censorship, it's pressuring conservative creators out there to be more cautious in what they say or don't say.
To be more establishment.
To be more establishment as well. I know of a couple other conservatives who were independent journalists when they started out, and then they got picked up by bigger networks, even bigger networks like Blaze TV, for example. And because they're under that big network, there's an umbrella of protection. They don't have to worry about their channel being demonetized because they have direct contacts with YouTube and through their big media companies that they work with. So they can speak a little bit more freely, but they're still told not to cross certain boundaries, right? And they operate within that. So people are like, well, why do we see some of these other conservatives out there still continuing to make content? Right? Well, pay close attention to what they're saying and what content they're creating and what content they're not creating. Okay? Why have I not had that umbrella of protection? Well, it's quite simple. I speak what I want to speak about. Nobody controls me. I'm a completely independent journalist, and I am able to do that because I'm supported by viewers and listeners like you. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, all of you who have supported me on my website or on my Subscribe Star, because you guys have really helped promote journalism that is free of influence from these big corporate media giants or the big tech and their censorship. So the real reason why I kind of switched gears and focused on QUX and kind of pivoted away from journalism is because, one, I can't really speak openly and freely on many of these platforms. And if I do, I will be banned immediately. If I spoke what's really on my mind on YouTube right now, if I talked about certain subjects that I'd like to talk about, they will ban me. Okay? And I don't have a problem with that. At the end of the day, they can ban me. My whole strategy here was, in the background, we've been working on QUX for years. We're finally at that end point where I needed to focus my time and energy on QUX solely to hurry up and get it out there before it's too late, before it won't make it, before the censorship is so bad that I can't even get this message out to you guys. Okay, so I've been laying low on social media so that I could, when QUX released, get this information out to you guys so that if I'm banned, you guys are going to know where to find me. Okay? If I'm banned, you'll know where to find me. I've already been, I was banned on PayPal after, I think it was the New York Times, did a hit piece on me because I was doing live streaming all the time on Twitch. And the New York Times came out with a hit piece that Twitch is allowing extremists to have a platform on their channel, and they targeted and they talked about my website and how I was selling stuff on my website. So on my website, I was accepting PayPal, and they then pressured and lobbied PayPal to ban me. So PayPal actually banned me, and they cited their reason as their terms and guidelines for extremism and hate speech and yada yada. Okay, so I was banned from PayPal. It's like very shortly I will be banned on these other social media platforms. All I have to do, I could go just do a live stream and talk about like vaccines or whatever else, or COVID and all this stuff, and boom, I'm gone. So my main reason for switching gears onto QUX is because I desperately want to be able to speak freely again. Don't you miss people being able to just speak freely without fear of Facebook jail, or without fear of retribution or retaliation or any of this other bullshit that you experience?
Or where we're looking at Yahoo. One article from Wall Street Journal is talking about how Trump, the government, shouldn't be allowed to tell social media platforms what to do in relation to whether or not Trump should be kicked off social media.
Oh, right. Are you talking about the Washington Journal piece?
Yes. Yeah, so this is exactly what we're facing as a society and as a human race, really.
Right.
Okay.
It's what humanity's facing.
So one article is about, oh look, government shouldn't be able to tell social media what to do. Okay. Now go to the Surgeon General article.
Yeah. And mind you, the Washington Journal piece is very against Trump's lawsuit against big tech. They say it's without merit and that the First Amendment does not apply to commercial contracts between private persons.
Read that again.
Yeah, it says the First Amendment does not apply to commercial contracts between private persons like the user agreements Mr. Trump entered into with social media companies.
So I'm going to make a prediction. Whether we like it or not, whether we support Trump as president or not, you know what I think's going to happen? They're going to use Trump's case to set a precedent that the First Amendment is not protected online.
Right, like how do we know there's not going to be some corrupt judge that then, makes a ruling against Trump and is like, oh, well, there's no First Amendment or free speech on big tech anymore, and it'll only ramp up the policing of speech on big tech.
Meanwhile, what's the...
Okay, so this other article, it talks about the Surgeon General urges tech giants to censor COVID-19 dissidents.
So this article is promoting government telling social media what to do.
Right.
So one article, government shouldn't control social media. Next article, government should control social media.
To crack down on dissidents.
This is purely Orwellian in the most horrific, disgusting manner. And part
it's 1984.
And part of the reason why I get so angry about the trolling over QUX is personally, as someone who's middle-aged, who grew up half my life in the 20th century with World War II grandparents, okay? To see this reality now, when I'm raising children, freaks me out. And to see people laughing and nihilistically making fun of this is exactly what my Hungarian relatives that fled fascism and communism warned me about.
Right.
If this comes to United States, look out. Because this is why we moved all 9 children. I mean, I literally come from a bunch of, so anyway, sorry, excuse me.
Well, I understand where this is scary. And that's like the main reason why we decided to do QUX, is because the censorship is only going to ramp up. And the likelihood that we're going to have some Republicans come to the rescue or some Democrats come to the rescue is slim to none, okay? Censorship has been an issue since before the Democrats had the House, since before the Democrats had President Biden in there, or almost the possibility of a majority in the Senate. I mean, technically, the Republicans have it by a slim margin, but, you know, there was a time when the Republicans had President Trump, they had the House, they had the Senate, and they knew about the censorship and big tech, and they did not do anything. The rhinos, they did not do a damn thing. So what are the odds that anything's going to be done about the big tech censorship on a political level? We can try to push and promote it, but guess what? At the end of the day, big tech has a lot of power to hold over the politicians, because the politicians know now, well, you can't have a successful political campaign, can you, if you're not on social media? Look how much they were able to derail Laura Loomer, right? How effective was she able to run her political campaign in Florida as for Congress when they had banned her on every social media network? I mean, even with as big of a name she had and how many allies or like friends that she had promoting her and pushing her, she couldn't win because they had the ability to just ban her off of everything. The poor girl, she was banned off of freaking Uber Eats and Uber. Like, her bank banned her. All these payment processors banned her. Like, what the hell? This is the future that we're looking at. And look, guys, this is what, you know what's scary? Which our camera feed went out, by the way, if you can help me out. This is what's scary, okay? At first, they were targeting and going after President Trump nonstop, okay? Then, as soon as they got him out, by you know how they got him out, right? As soon as they got him out, guess what they've been doing? And a lot of this isn't even public. I mean, we've seen how they targeted Rudy Giuliani, the president's attorney and confidant, right? But there are more people surrounding President Trump, his former admin, staff, people even associated with Trump or people around Rudy Giuliani and others. They are being targeted. They've got the FBI crawling up their butt. They've got literally like DAs and judges, Democrat-run DAs, everything coming after them. Okay? Now, the swamp has deployed armies to go after the people that were helping Trump, the people surrounding Trump. This is how bad it is. It's like a banana republic. Okay? And how do you combat that? How do you get that information out to people when they have full spectrum dominance? They control the television. They control the cable. They control the different apps out there. They control most of these Fire Sticks, Rokus, whatever. They control those.
And if they don't, they'll ban
right?
it.
They control most of the cellular devices out there. They control Apple, Windows, Bill Gates. I mean, wouldn't you like to see another tech company rise up and kick Bill Gates' butt and kick Apple's butt? But guess what? Some people think, oh, well, that's a big dream. You know what? I think the American people are capable of anything. And I think once people realize and wake up that the power that they have within them and the power that we have collectively, you're going to be shocked. Like, holy crap, we're capable of changing our reality. Yes, we are. We are capable of changing our reality if we work together. Okay? Realistically, yes. We can, well, not like in a schizophrenic way. Come on now. Changing our reality is in changing the current system. Do we want to be slaves? Do we want to be enslaved by the coming social credit scores, the coming news ombudsmans, the coming censorships, the coming forced you-know-whats, door to door? I mean, is this what we want in our reality? Or do we want to break free? Do we want to take back control? Do we want to actually vote with our wallets? The choice is yours. I'm giving you guys the option. This is something that I've dedicated years of my life to. We've dedicated money and time and energy and everything we have. I've literally disappeared. Many of you guys have been like, where is Millie Weaver? Millie, where are you? Are you okay? Yeah, I've disappeared because I've been focused on this, laser focused on this. This is so important. And that is why I am here today. I'm here today because we're finally launching the QUX beta testing pilot program, which I'm very excited about, okay? And I'm super appreciative. I love all of you guys who have signed up. That is amazing. I can't wait. I'm sure you guys are all excited as well. I know I've heard from a lot of people in comments how excited you guys are. And this is history making. This is history making. This is we the people fighting back. And we are totally capable of doing that. So, once again, I'll show you guys the Indiegogo page. Let me see. If you're still interested, let's see if there are still spots available. Okay, there are still some spots available. There are 84 spots available. So if that's something you guys want to sign up for, go ahead. If you want your name in the credits for the being part of the making of QUX and those who helped make it successful, you could donate a very generous donation of $1,000 and have your name in there forever as one of the people who helped create QUX.
Yeah, your name forever etched inside the credits in the settings of the application. It's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool. So we're excited about that, definitely, and I hope you guys are too. So it's getting late here. I want you guys to keep looking for updates because I'll be giving you guys some more updates about QUX. As soon as we get QUX launched, I'm going to tell you I'm going to be having a portal on there, and I'm going to be putting up new videos and new content. So if that's something you guys want to do, you could follow me on there, onto my portal on QUX. When we start selling these devices and getting them out there, I hope you guys will join me on there because there's a lot I'd like to say, and I'd like to be able to speak freely without having to speak in coded language or dance around topics on these other social media platforms.
About how Stanford Research Institute had a think tank analyzing the language being used to dance around the topic and how their AI systems couldn't capture this with live streams yet.
Yes, that was so creepy. Okay, do you remember what news media did that hit piece on me?
NPR.
Was it NPR?
Yeah, it was NPR.
Okay, yeah, you're right. It was NPR. And they did a hit piece on me about the live streaming coverage I did during the election and how I was dancing around language, trying to avoid, and that I was avoiding their algorithms. Yeah, and they said like they had all these Harvard research scientists and professors and all these teams of think tank researchers plotting up and thinking about how they can better improve their algorithms to be able to censor live speech on my live stream feeds. I kid you not. This is what they were talking about in their NPR hit piece about my election coverage because I was like, look, here's this, look, here's that, you know? Insane. Oh, man. Okay, so anyway, if you haven't seen that article, let's see if I can pull it up here.
Just type in
Millie Weaver, NPR. It was like the most 1984 thing I think I've ever read. I was kind of laughing. I was laughing when I read this. I was like, are you kidding me? Like they have think tanks. Like they're probably a bunch of like weird liberal cat ladies and weird professors and look at this. Nearly 300,000 others kept an eye on the YouTube channel. 29-year-old Millie Weaver, a former correspondent for the conspiracy theorist website InfoWars, who offered right-wing analysis to her followers in a live stream that carried on for almost 7 hours the day of the election. Right?
My God,
they were
how
so
awful.
mad. Like, how dare you? She first aired footage of a man pulling a red wagon into a ballot.
Remember the questions you had to go through? With...
Oh my gosh. She raised questions with a guest about the integrity of the election. How dare you? Right? Stoking the false theme that the election was rife with fraud. What's going on? No, no, no. Like, oh, okay, so I asked what is going on. It looks like the election is being stolen. How dare you say that? As unproven theories and rumors multiplied online during the election, major social media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, and Google-owned YouTube, took more aggressive action than ever before to limit the reach of unsubstantiated or false claims that could undermine confidence in the democratic process. Okay, let's see if we can skip to, but one area that has become increasingly worrisome to misinformation researchers is live streamed videos, often posted by conservative influencers like
Misinformation researchers.
Yeah, misinformation
or
researchers.
Or MIR for short.
This is where the content moderation frontier is right now,
yeah,
said
seriously.
Renee DiResta, a misinformation researcher at Stanford's Internet Observatory.
wait, no, read that again. Read that again.
You can't make this up.
No, read that
You can't
again.
make it. This is where the content moderation frontier is right now, said Renee DiResta, a misinformation researcher at Stanford's Internet Observatory. Did I say it like NPR?
That's
Did I
literally.
sound like it with their, this is NPR. No.
That's literally NSOC,
Right.
InkSoc or whatever.
Okay.
From Brave.
In the months leading up to the election, platforms have taken down violent content, made misleading posts less visible, and added warning labels to false claims. Those are tools, DiResta noted, that are nearly impossible to apply in real-time live video. So, like, they continue on here and talk about it, but here's another one. That's in part because it's harder to search video content as opposed to text, said Evelyn Dweck, a Harvard Law School lecturer who studies the different ways platforms approach content moderation. It's a lot harder to scrutinize what's going on, and it's a lot more time-consuming.
Content moderation.
A feed of mostly opinion, speculation, or coverage of a live event, like a protest, can suddenly take a hard turn into conspiratorial narratives. So, like, okay, so they've got all these researchers, Stanford researchers, Harvard researchers, literally sitting here figuring out, like, how do we censor a live broadcast? How do we use our algorithms to censor live speech? That's really creepy.
Do you know what it actually requires?
Like weird algorithms.
Serious predictive modeling,
Right.
where they're spying on your ass so hard they're going to predict what you're going to say
Right.
live.
I'm actually really surprised after this article came out that I haven't yet lost my live streaming capabilities on YouTube. Like, I'm pretty
They
surprised.
pulled the video where he talked
Yes.
about Trump getting kicked off of Twitter.
Yeah, they did. They pulled the video where I talked about Trump being banned on Twitter, that live video, and they gave me a strike for that, or warning for that. And then they pulled another video and gave me a regular community guideline strike. And that was actually the one where it was the one with Alex Jones in it, and where I was predicting the bio warfare stuff
Because
prior to COVID-19.
Because we had a source that
Yeah.
was in the simulation exercise.
Yeah. So that one they really didn't like, because they're like, damn, she could point back to this. It's date and time stamp. So yeah, censorship is a real problem, guys, and I don't think I really need to do
It's
much
not
convincing. I think you guys get the point that censorship's a real issue, and you can kind of see why I would be so passionate about free speech and anti-censorship. It's because I've been targeted with censorship, and I know what it's like. And guess what? When I'm gone, they're coming for you guys next.
Millie,
Okay?
it's not censorship, it's content moderation.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah. Content moderation. And moderation of dissidents.
No, because
right?
do you know what I picture with...
COVID-19 dissidents.
Do you know what content moderation is? It's someone with a frickin' measuring device coming around and checking everyone's glass of water to make sure that their content doesn't need moderated.
Right.
You have too much air conditioning. You have too much water.
Right.
Literally.
I mean, and most of their
content
devices.
moderation,
Listen,
think
if
about
most of
it.
their devices spy on us and listen to what we're saying, how do you know that in the future, if they're like,
You've been on the phone long
you
enough.
said this
On the-
in your private conversation around the phone.
It is good.
We recorded you saying this, and that's a violation of the
Yeah.
law, and you're going to go to real
You're
jail.
spreading misinformation to the person on the other line.
Right. Like, we don't know how far this is going to go. We can imagine how far it could go with people like Biden in power or Kamala Harris. We can imagine. But I would like to imagine a world where freedom prevails. And
that's going to require...
That's why we have QUX, and that's going to require you, the people, to actually get up and participate in taking our country back. There's not going to be some knight in shining armor like Trump or whoever that's going to be able to go it alone and do it by themselves. We need to all work together to do this. So it's time we take back our country. It's time we take back our rights, and first and foremost, our right for free speech, because that is key. That is why it is the First Amendment, because it is the most important. Okay? Some say, oh, well, Second Amendment. Well, guess what? If you don't have free speech, you can't really tell people about how valuable the Second Amendment is, can you? Look at how many lemming knuckleheads there are out there who know nothing about guns, who are completely ignorant when it comes to guns, and want to ban, like, AR-25s or whatever. They don't even know what they're talking about. Okay? They just make stuff up. They just make up terms that aren't even real guns, or assault rifles, right? Assault guns. They make up terms. They don't know. They're ignorant. Why? Because the enemy has full spectrum dominance. They have control over information. That is why.
Does assault gun shoot salt?
Assault gun. You know, they do have salt guns. Actual salt guns that do shoot flies. I don't know if you guys have seen them. It's really sad, but flies are pretty pesky. No one wants flies in their house. But they do actually have salt guns. So maybe that's what they've been talking about this whole time.
Assault gun.
They want to ban salt guns. Because they're like, free the fly, you know?
Yeah, right.
Save the fly. I don't know. This is... Alright, we're getting goofy now. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for following along with us on this broadcast. And I will be doing more broadcasts now because I'm going to be giving you guys updates on QUX and
a little news.
And a little bit of news here and there. I'm hoping to not get banned, but you know what? Who cares? Now I'm going to be on QUX, so at least you guys know where to find me. Alright, guys. This is Millie Weaver.